Imagine if leadership and development was a uniting factor for people towards a certain achievement. When people set aside their political differences and affront a cause that will benefit everyone.
What does omuntu wa wansi see as development in Entebbe?
Mbuuza meya akyegana, tawuni kiraka akyegana.
Who is the problem now?
Ensonga eno ejja kuggwa.
That is politics.
Era tetulina kyakulya n'ekya tekigenda kubaawo.
Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. as we discuss matters in Entebbe, the first Uganda's colonial capital, and what it deserves.
Welcome to this week's edition of Entebbe Today. I hope you're having a great Saturday morning. This week, I think now we are just in a mood of championships, just from Oregon in the USA, and now we are going to the UK. So just take a flight probably. Go to the airport, take a flight to wherever you want to go, but we are going to be fixed on our TVs because Uganda for the first time has sent a big team of athletes. We have swimmers, we have the rugby sevens, we have the netball team. Actually, they're defending their position as the 6th in the world. What is interesting about the Commonwealth Games in the UK is that the top 6 teams in netball in the whole world are in the Commonwealth. You have Australia as number 1, New Zealand, you have Jamaica, then you have Malawi, South Africa, then Uganda. Oh my God. It's going to be a tight one for us, but I know we have a young team. Anyhow, let me not spoil it for you. So I was telling you we have a very big contingent. For the first time in the Commonwealth, we are having 11 disciplines that have qualified. So we have a variety. If you feel running is it is too tense for you, you could try to watch the swimmers. But I can tell you, even synchronized swimming, which we have not started doing, it's going to be very interesting just to see the amount of talent within the Commonwealth. So for the likes of Ivan, my co-host for today, Ivan,
I was waiting for you to say.
What are you really looking for towards the Commonwealth Games?
Well, first of all, I think my startup for the show would be the uncertainty, the information that Joushua Cheptegei, first of all, said he would not go for the Commonwealth Games. You remember when he came to the airport, I think some 3 days ago, and he said his decision whether to feature in the Commonwealth Games will be determined by his medical team on the injury that he sustained when he was in Oregon, the recently concluded World Athletics. So, of course, this time it is interesting that he confirmed to go and participate. But remember, back then in the background information, we had it that he was not interested. But finally, he came out to say that he's going to participate, but he's only going to participate in the 5,000. So for 10,000, and to me, I think Cheptegei would be a good eye spot for us in the 10,000 than the 5,000. I think he does well in that category.
That is your opinion, but for someone like Ken Simba, who is also on the panel, he's an analyst. But before he can come in, you are talking that because you're a lay person, you're a supporter. But for someone like Cheptegei, who is defending, he actually won in 2018 when the Commonwealth Games were held at the Gold Coast in Australia.
Yes.
He won the 10,000 meters and the 5,000 meters. Yeah. So those are 2 gold medals.
But remember, in Oregon, in 5,000 meters, the last hit, remember the results?
Yes. So the final, he finished 9th.
Yes.
He wasn't okay. We could say...
So, by virtue of that image, we can tell that Cheptegei can do well in 10,000.
Medals are like, they're in a basket. Sometimes you cannot grab everything, So, but that is why you feel Cheptegei should go for 10,000 instead of 5,000. But I'm telling you, he is there to defend his 2 titles. If he wants, he can still run them. But when you're defending champion, there's a lot of pressure on you. And I remember asking him when he came back on Tuesday, do you feel the pressure? And he was non-committal, but you could see he was a bit relaxed. But now, that was the time when he was still uncertain whether he's going to participate. But now with the decision to participate, for the 5,000 meters. You know, I think it's a very intense race. It's more like a sprinting race now. So let's talk to Ken Simba. You're welcome to the show. Do you share the same opinion with Ivan?
Oh, well, maybe just to look at it on a sports angle. I mean, Cheptegei, he ran 5,000, then he ran 10,000. That's 15,000 meters. That can take a toll on any athlete. I mean, if you run that, usually, even when they do the marathons, he won't do a certain number of marathons in a year. Now, think about it, 15,000 meters, and you have 2 or 3 weeks after that to do another 15 or another 10. That takes a lot of energy. And for me, I think he knows deep inside him that this could not be for him. Maybe if he goes there, he's just going there for pride and to participate. But I don't see him competing, because that's a lot for an athlete. That's a lot.
You know, the thing with Cheptegei is our star. That is, you know, it's like every time you see Cheptegei on the line, you know there is a medal.
There's a
Whether
medal coming.
it's gold, which you just know that is a medal.
But it's
now defending two titles, of which one is very, very competitive.
Yes.
You know, if you look at the 100 meters, you look at 200, you look at 400, that is the one lap. Now, from the 2 laps, which is 800 meters, to now the 3,000, the steeplechase.
Yes.
Those now, there's a way you cannot distinguish between 3,000. The only thing you know about 3,000 is that they're going to jump the hurdles. Within those laps, they will jump some of the hurdles.
Yes, steeple.
But now what has happened is that the races are too fast, and it takes a toll on you, the runner. You know, if you're running 25 laps, which is the 10,000 meters, it's 25 laps. Now, the 5,000 is a half of that, which is, I think, 13 and a half.
Yes.
So imagine,
but of course, John,
imagine running in less than a minute. Every lap is less than a minute or 1 minute. Do you know what that means? And if you want to actually know, is that if you are watching the 5,000 meters, you take 17 minutes. That is what happened in Oregon.
I think
that means 1 minute per
away
lap.
from what John is saying is that I think as a country, the hope should not only be tied on Cheptegei. You know, we should create alternatives for ourselves. We have young people who are as well promising. You have Chelimo, yeah. You also have more other in the category, like you've seen them. So I think the whole thing here, the question should be is that how we maybe have, no, I can't say forced, but how we have made sure we win Cheptegei's, attention to the Commonwealth Games against his interest. I personally,
I don't think you.
No, I'm not saying we did. I'm not saying we did. But I'm saying if Cheptegei came to the airport, I was there with her, and Cheptegei said he sustained an injury from the recently concluded athletics.
Yes.
Now that gives you an indication that perhaps the guy could be okay. Let him go and participate, but was he fit enough to go into that? Ken just said in his introduction.
Team.
Let me
that's a medical team.
Ken just said it from the start that it is too hectic for an athlete to just conclude the recent athletics we had, and then also go for this one.
Yes.
So my argument was we should create alternatives for such. You know, Cheptegei, everyone is looking at gold when he sees Cheptegei going to the. But how can we also put our hopes
in the
race? Young people?
Okay, yes. But as you can see, like you're talking, you know, it's not. You don't blame a fan. Like the Ugandans who are in the diaspora, I'm very sure they are going to flood the stadium just to watch our Ugandans. Of course, that's why we say Team Uganda. I know the ticket prices are very expensive. There are some races or some events where the tickets sold out, so people are just reselling them. So they sold out, and that's the beauty about sports in the UK. They have done the marketing in sports so well that even to get access to a stadium now is very hard. If you didn't buy a ticket way earlier, you're not going to have access to the venues. But what you're saying, like Cheptegei told us on Tuesday, he said even if he doesn't go, that was what he was saying, even if he doesn't go, he's very confident. He's very confident that the team is going to do something great.
But are we confident as well?
He was.
Are we confident as well?
Cheptegei is their leader.
Yes.
You know, he's their leader. And when a leader says, I have hope in you, I am so hopeful, I know you're going to win a medal. Chelimo did it in Oregon. He got the bronze. And you could see that if he had another 10 meters or so, He could be number 2 because you could see the other Kenyan was almost tired. But you could see he brought his strides a bit too late. But if he had done that earlier, probably he would have been number 2, if possible, even would have been beaten the Norwegian in the 5,000. But you know, things change. Team dynamics. Things change, yes. Things really, really change. But I hope even our other teams will work well. The rugby sevens, we have the netball team. I told you they're defending number 6.
Yes.
But I hope they can beat Malawi and maybe they can be number 6. I mean, number 5. Jamaica is hard, but yes. And then you have, the rugby sevens. The swimmers, the table tennis. Yes, there's table tennis.
There's some boxers too.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
and you can see the funding, which after the break we're going to come back to. The issue of results-based. Government should give you money based on how many medals you've won. And that is what some people, like the president of table tennis, has been talking about. He says, if athletics has brought us gold medals, okay, they brought us medals, you know, in Olympics, they deserve more funding.
Yes.
Why should we give football? So that is the conversation we'll have after this break.
Entebbe, the land of freshness, fresh breeze, fresh water, fresh weather, and fresh foods. Entebbe is not just the gateway to Uganda, but also fresh foods supplied from 81 Sese Islands in Lake Victoria. Fresh foods from the garden to Chitoro Market and straight to your home. Visit Chitoro Market in Entebbe, Uganda's first capital for all your fresh foods.
Welcome to Entebbe. Uganda's first colonial capital, the home of recreation and tourism. Meet its welcoming people and enjoy the fresh winds from Lake Victoria.
Welcome back to the second part of this episode where we are talking sports. Specifically, we are talking about the Commonwealth Games. By the way, if you didn't know, tonight we are going to have marathon. So please,
I like
do whatever you can.
How I wish you
to
told the
sit
audience.
I wonder when you're starting marathon this
How I
time.
wish you told the audience what was in the background when we went for the break.
First wait, because some people forget. Because the argument we had just off air, we might forget. But please get cups of tea, and watch the marathon. We have a serious marathoner in Kiplagat.
But I also I like the attention that people are
Kiplagat is
giving
coming.
to sports nowadays, especially from the Ugandan fraternity. People are now interested in watching sports.
But people have been interested.
People are going to bars these days not to drink, but
But
wait
watch
for their
sports.
own.
Yes.
Run, compete,
you
play
see,
other sports.
Ugandans have always loved sports. The only problem
Not always.
was...
Not always.
Okay,
Not always.
maybe I'm general, but what I'm trying to say, people would watch, but they were watching other people, other countries, and you cheer them on. But there's so much joy of watching
but also it's-
the
I
girls
think-
in their yellow dresses jumping.
Yes,
and
because I think for a long time we haven't been participating in. You should appreciate that.
Yes.
This time round we are coming out. We are coming
That's
out of
that's
the
why
show.
I'm so happy.
And Ken can testify this. When African Cup of Nations was in Egypt,
Yeah.
people, the Egyptians would only come to the arena, would
When
only
their
come
team
to
is playing.
when Egypt is playing,
playing,
and
yeah.
everyone is putting on a T-shirt that has Salah.
Yes.
Salah.
Salah, yeah.
More
Salah.
Salah,
More
Salah.
Salah, yes.
So that gives you an indication that people always affiliate or associate themselves with a certain
With some-
character
yeah.
Of course.
of a certain sport.
Yes.
Yes.
So it is just like when you say Cheptegei is going to
going to
run.
run.
If Cheptegei was a player in a football team, you would see his jersey.
Yes,
People
everyone
putting
will
on
be
it.
putting on
Yes,
But now
and
that
don't be shocked. People, I have
And,
seen people have changed their Twitter handles. I saw someone called it
It's
Madame
called JC. No.
I know someone is called Madame CEO Cheptegei. I was like, okay.
No, JC now they've even shortened
JC,
it.
yes,
JC,
Joshua
JC.
Cheptegei,
Yes, hashtag is JC.
Now,
yes.
Ivan, before I forget, now I was telling people to get settled for the marathon. Most people always think the marathon is the last event because we are spoiled
Yes.
with Olympics, we are spoiled with the World Athletics.
We are used
and
to
World
it being
Champions.
the last.
We are used to it being the last event, but this time it's among the
first,
first.
isn't it?
not
They-
the
they don't want
it's
Uganda to
among
take
the
the
first.
shine.
I don't know why they've done it, but whatever it is, we have marathon and we have Kiplagat.
But you see, usually, I think the Africans take the shine on the last day. Now these guys probably are saying, I know enough.
We can't tell
The Africans taking the marathon on the last day.
So, but it's going to be very interesting to see Kenya, Uganda, America.
And we have always rubbed the ties,
Yeah.
especially for
the
our friends in
British,
Kenya.
the Britons. We want to see the talent in Commonwealth when it comes to the marathon. You know, it's very, very, very tiresome to run a marathon.
Yeah, but if
whatever
that's
it
your
is-
work, if that's your
your
work,
Of
your
course, that is
special,
it. And by
your
the way,
specialization, then it doesn't
yes.
become your own.
Last year, by the way, I interviewed the parents of Cheptegei, his father, and he was saying that when Cheptegei leaves 5,000 and 10,000, he would want him to do the marathon.
Okay.
But also, secondly, our teams, you know, the team spirit. You know, when you look at just Team Uganda, what is Team Uganda? You'll always have that shade of yellow. Whether it's the rugby sevens, whether it is the she cranes, the netball team, whether it's our runners, like Cheptegei said, he likes wearing his yellow jersey, you know. So seeing yellow, of course, we compete with Jamaica when it comes to yellow.
But you're leaving our neighborhood. We have Kenya, and Ethiopia.
Kenya is
Ethiopia.
red. Kenya is red. They usually do red or green.
But
whichever.
you have rubbed the ties even in
Yes,
football,
in
in
football,
rugby.
in
Yes, but what I'm
and
trying
even
to say,
athletics, yes.
say, just to see a Ugandan player, you know, just seeing them on TV is really so good. You feel so, but it's different. Yes, we're in East Africa. I'm not discounting the fact that we're in East Africa. We support Kenyans when we have no Ugandan, or when we really, yes, we support Africa.
Oh,
we support.
you are
yes.
suggesting
But
that
what
through
I'm
the
trying
East
to
African
say-
integration, we
what I'm
front,
trying to
we
say-
front one athlete to
Ivan,
go.
what I'm trying to say is that it is good to have that Ugandan on the pitch or in the, you know, wherever they are. It's very good. That's why I'm saying it's good for us to follow these games, because we should have hope in them.
Okay.
But then also apart from that, there's been a lot of talk, arguments, I think from 2018 there, where this proposal came that football should get 10 billion, you know, a lion's share of the funding from National Council of Sports. And some of the federations have been complaining. We are 50 plus federations, but why is it that out of 27 billion, 10 billion is ring-fenced for football? And they're asking, we are not seeing results. Apart from Sekafa, why don't we see them winning, let's say the African Women's, the African Cup of Nations for the women and the one for the men? So, you know, that thing of team spirit. So I think I should first start with Ken. Ken, what is your opinion about this whole thing of the funding should go in line with, it should be in tandem with your performance?
I think to start off with, unless you don't understand sports, you just can't say funding should go to performance, because at the end of the day in sports, what is performance? You can't say that performance is just bringing home a medal. Uganda has been participating in Commonwealth since 1954. I think we have about,
Yes.
if you put together, we have about 50 so medals. Yeah?
Yes.
And if you look closely, these medals, most of them are coming from boxing.
Boxing
But
and
is boxing
athletics.
getting more funding? The most important thing about funding is trying to identify talent.
Yes.
But also if you bring it to about football and why football is taking the lion's share, football is the most common or most popular game.
That's true.
If the Ugandan team went to, for example, the Africa Cup of Nations or World Cup, the benefits of just going can surpass a gold medal, one gold medal.
Which
They're
is
so
for one
enormous.
person.
They're so enormous. So what football brings in, being the most popular sport, is a lot. But also football is widely played. So you would think that they need the chunk of the money. But that's not even an issue. Me, I think funding should be across the board. Funding should be about identifying the talent. Yeah, because if we go by who has
brought
the
medals or
some
who
of
has
these
not.
guys, we are looking at the Kiprotich and the Kiprimos and all these guys bringing the medals like Kibwaz. It's not the government that is done the chunk of the work.
It is
This
their
is
parents,
personal.
their community.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, you understand. So let us, as a country, just look at how to identify talent and put volumes of money. There are so many games. There are so many games at the Olympics and at the Commonwealth.
Which we don't even
By
do.
the way, look, we could go to Karamoja and get people who can do javelin.
I know,
because
but
naturally
but
they,
teaching
you
them
know,
how
yes.
to make sure it is within
yeah.
the
So does that mean that if we
The-
don't
the
have
perimeter.
a javelin federation, we can't send athletes to do javelin? No, I think the government should start now looking at sports broadly.
Okay.
You know.
And like you've said, I think now the government, I think, has woken up, if they were sleeping, but you know they have given money for every district Every district must have, they have money for sports. So they have given every district some money. So 146 districts must ensure they have something going on in sports. Ivan, what do you have to say about this whole conversation?
Well, I
and
think
also in light with the fact that you also heard what Cheptegei was saying, invest in infrastructure.
Okay, let me start with the district. I think it's pretty interesting to see that districts, young people, government invests money in young people for the love of the sport. I want to, first of all, applaud the government for seeing that earlier. I've interacted with a number of football coaches, a number of athletics coaches and all the rest. But they will tell you, some of our guys get to the limelight when they're slightly at a certain age where they can do less. They can do less.
True, yeah.
So I think I've personally participated in some primary school disciplines. I was a very good footballer. I also did some athletics, but then failed.
Which races were interested?
I think I've even forgotten. But what I'm trying to what I'm trying to say here is
you forgot because
having young people realizing the competitiveness of a particular sport, where you see athletics not only ending at a district level, but even a national level, at an East African level, African level, and even having these young boys as early as 10, 12 years go to participate in some competitions in the US, even Oregon, as young as that age. Even football as well. I think I want to applaud my government for that. But also from Cheptegei's side, Cheptegei came to the airport, and I was there with her. Cheptegei said, if we want to beat Kenya and Ethiopia, of course, we have a lot to do.
He said already we have reached a level where we can
we
can match them and we can even outcompete.
But he brought in the issue of facilities. Facilities.
Yes.
Very important. We just have Nambole here, which is now out of use, isn't it?
Yes.
Which could have perhaps supported some of these disciplines, be trained for inside there. And so my attention will really catch the facilities. I've been to Kapchora. I was in Kapchora when there was a team from Russia that had gone to interview Cheptegei, his father, and the other young athletes who are also doing the same sport in the area. But the roads, everything. These people, when they go to Kapchora, will always want to really take the feel of what his community entails. But the roads were not accessible. I remember we had to leave cars somewhere and we walked. So I think really planning and positioning funds in a sport where we are doing the best, to me, would be a factor. I don't say that the other ones should not be funded, but I'm saying, what is our target? Can we be like a lion? Can we say now, since we are doing well in athletics, can we channel slightly some good money in athletics? Because you get it. I'm not saying football is bad, but now if we are saying, I can say football is a popular sport to every, and I would not, I agree with him. But I'm saying, if we really see that we are getting more good country market from athletics, what can we boost? Do we have any training facility? We have Tuliet and also have high altitude training center, which now also attracts our friends from the Kalenjins from Kenya.
Have they completed it?
You heard when Cheptegei won last time, the Kenyan side was saying Cheptegei is ours. But just because the Kalenjin of Kenya and the Sabines of Uganda coexist, they have common behaviors and the rest of everything.
The medal
so my interest would be, how can government support the high altitude center in Turiet and in Kapchora to see that one time we can have the world athletics done here in Uganda. And now when we say world athletics, we are talking about how many guests you think will come here.
But
how many? And those ones.
So competition here. I think it was
people are interested in coming to Uganda to find out about athletics. So we need to do better in that.
Yes, I think you're right. The issue is, the issue I want to point out, most especially with government, is that yes, they have done something, but the issue is that they have failed to take sports as an economy. You know, you'll hear them talking about agriculture, you'll hear them talking about tourism, but you see, if you don't take sports as an economy that can actually boost other economies, you won't give it enough funding. And I think that's where the main issue is. Because you can't fund, because you see like sports, if for example, like you've said, if we get the training centers, facilities all done, football, netball, whatever the facilities are, then we'll rise stars. For example, today we would have more than 11 disciplines. Imagine if Uganda was represented by maybe 20 plus disciplines. Already the country is getting so much visibility that is going to tap into the tourism. Then just the
you
money
heard
that
when the
comes.
commentator said,
You know,
you
The
heard
Nile
what
will
the
be
commentator
flowing.
said
Yes.
when Cheptegei was finishing the 10,000. You know what he said? He talked about Ginger and Kampala.
Exactly.
The same thing he
And
said
that
in
now-
the Olympics. The Nile
Exactly.
will be flowing.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
he said
That's what I'm
the
saying.
Nile will be flowing in
So
Kampala.
we need to take sports as an economy. And for me, let me tell you this: I was utterly disappointed by the head of state the other time when the CAF president visited, and he jokingly or seriously said, no, we haven't started investing in football. When we start, you will see. For me, that made.
And
you know,
yet
like,
already when you look
because
at the whole thing,
you put money in sports. I'll tell you, they are countries that have boosted their economies because of sports. And Kenya is one of them. When you talk about long distance running, sometimes we ask ourselves, why is Kenya getting more tourists
yes,
than us?
yes.
They are at every athletic
Event,
competition.
yes.
And people are seeing Kenyans. And then they are relating the safaris to the way the Kenyans are running. And they're
yes.
coming and giving Kenyans money.
Dollars.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So we need
And
to
yet
take this industry
initially
serious.
you could never link a safari to
Yes.
to someone
exactly.
running on it.
Exactly.
Running.
The other day,
Relax,
I heard
you know?
about why Ghana invests so much to seeing that their country goes to the World Cup. They don't care about Africa Cup. You must go to the World
World
Cup.
Cup, yes.
Because after the World Cup, the volumes of visitors that come to that country, just
Increase.
because of they have been at the World Cup, you know, Ghana, just that name going through the, you know. So I think the government has to prioritize. I mean, he has to give sports give it
Priority,
priority.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
No, so
But,
now, okay, I know we are going to wind up. I know the conversation is very nice. But when you look at talent identification, these 11 disciplines, if you look at them, do you ever ask yourself, where do these people come from? You see Rugby Sevens has been formed, the netball team has been formed, swimmers. Do you ever ask yourselves, where have these ones emerged
And that's the
from?
question I was
You
telling
know?
you.
So if government actually is giving money to the districts, you know, before you'd think everyone is, the national teams are formed in Kampala or clubs that are in Kampala. But imagine if you hear some of the names in the people who are running, you know, it's very interesting.
No. The whole thing here is every sport has an affiliation.
Yes.
Yes.
For either the community interest or others.
Yes,
That's
but what
why.
I'm trying
Listen,
to say,
no, let me just.
there's something very stereotypical about what people say, that there are some tribes that cannot run, and yet you cannot. Some of these things, okay, like
People can run chasing their goats. People can
Yes.
run, but the people who can do competitive
This.
running
What if the people
as
were
part of their
extraordinary? Yes.
Yes,
Now
yes, that's
I want
true.
to give you an
Yes.
example, Ken.
So
I
you
want to
might
give you an
think
example.
the talent is not there, but give them a chance.
Ken, I want to give you an example. When you go to prisons in Uganda, I think it's one of the institutions that have good runners.
Yes.
You run after someone. But when you go to Sebei, I have been there. It is almost like the DNA because these young people in Kapchora are inspired by maybe figures like Cheptegei,
Yes.
But even
Kipolimo. You have
there,
also
you see,
had
we are
other.
told
We
the
have had
geography.
other winners from other regions.
We also told the geography of
Yes.
the area also plays a key role.
But sometimes you see research is when you prove your findings were used before. Now, some of these people who will want to bring out good reports about the terrain is after someone has won
come
from
out
that
of there.
region.
Of course, because
Now,
they realize
the hills in
Kenya and
Bududa,
Uganda-
the hills in Bududa, and the hills in Manafa, let me say Manafa and Bududa, and some parts of Bulambuli and what are almost the same as Kapchora.
I don't
But
know
now
about the
for
ones they cover.
specification,
It could be the same.
for specifications, they will say that Kapchora has a good terrain,
Ah,
that
but
supports
Ivan,
what?
Ivan.
Running.
Ivan,
Yes.
but the ones of Manafu are susceptible to mudslides. You want people to go and they
That is. But well, what we're trying to say, Ken, I think to bring my point home here is having to identify people for the best, or whether tribe, whether region, for what they can do best. It's just
Yes.
like
No,
agriculture.
actually, if you
Which
could
country
think of it,
produces
yes.
maize, which
Yes,
one
you
produces
have a
what?
point. That's true.
So that's why I'm telling you, it's a DNA of the people in Kapchora now. You find young people as early as 5 or 6 on the road running in groups.
Yes.
And that I've not seen it anyway. But remember, when they win, we own the results
is true.
Of
as
course,
Ugandans.
of course. But now that
is
also
true.
does, it should not discount the fact that there are people who can be outside those regions who actually are talented. So,
Yeah.
and that's why talent identification is a
But
very
maybe,
key thing.
Joan, maybe to add, to add on what you mentioned earlier about talent identification.
Yes.
I think you mentioned that the government is now giving
Every district
district
somebody.
funding. But you see, this is what I said earlier. we need to have a plan. Giving,
Yes.
you know,
Of course,
we
they're
have been
also
giving
giving-
money even to ourselves, to Myoga and what to, and not much has been realized.
But
Me, I
now-
think what is key, key, if you look at these countries that are really participating, let government come, for example, I'll take Entebbe. Let government come and say, okay, Entebbe, they are swimmers. Let them come and put an Olympic size swimming pool,
Yes.
swimming facilities. Let them go in Sebei region
Yes.
and put that high altitude. Let them, maybe in central Uganda, they play football. Build stadiums so that people have facilities. Because I'm telling you, giving money in Uganda,
But
it
Ken,
doesn't work
the
out.
good
We
thing,
need government
the
to
good
build.
thing is they have been given money. The best thing is to ask for accountability. What did you do with what
No,
you were
I want
given?
you to break down for us just what government has given. You will
Okay.
realize that even the
It's
share
here.
is based on maybe some
Okay,
discipline
now I
performance.
just have a few figures. This was given by the General Secretary of National Council of Sports,
Yes.
Dr. Ogwell. And he was saying that they have got 48 billion
Okay.
for the events that are happening, you know, including the World Athletics Championships that just ended in Oregon, where the budget was 960 million.
Yes.
And then for the World, for the Commonwealth Games, which is bigger than everything else, it's 7.1 billion. And when you break down, you have athletics, you know, getting, let me see, athletics, Uganda, the Athletics Federation got 276 million.
Okay.
Boxing 244 million, swimming 185 million, Paralympic Association 149, netball 566 million. You can really
You can
see.
even
Yes.
tell the
You see,
difference.
But for now, I think we could also, as the discussion was going on, I remembered that we needed to look at the aspect of teams. You know, football and netball, these are teams.
Yes.
Netball has 7 players.
Football has over 20.
Football has
24.
Let's say 24.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at the goalkeeper, you know,
Plus
the
the
substitutes.
officials.
Okay, which other team
for
has...
one event, for football, you're having 24 players. For netball, you are having 14. For athletics, you know there are 3. Well, if there is Cheptegei, there's Kisa and Kiplimo. You know there are 3. But of course, the money goes into the preparation. You know, they prepare more than when they're even running. So I think also those are the dynamics that come into play. That you're having a big team of 24 vis-a-vis a team of 1
14
because you are
or
individual. You see, even you have rugby sevens, you can see all that comes to play. But football has the biggest number of players that are at the same time on the pitch. So we can look at the funding in that.
Which
bit,
one
you know.
is the least funded?
There's heard of
the
20
one,
million?
the one that got the least money is
20?
is 14 million wrestling. I think they took only
took
1 or 2
1 or
people,
2.
yes. And then squash 20 million, yes. So I think the bigger the number of people you take, the better.
Yeah, but I think the budget is improving over time. I
Yes.
mean,
Of course,
government
they
is
increase
realizing
the budget
to
by
But that
Yeah.
is true. But you're looking at an event budget.
This is an event budget.
Yeah, this is just for them to go
An
and
event.
come back. Most of those are administrative fees. And
Yes,
also you look
air
at,
tickets.
they're not just, what people don't realize that some of those teams have officials
Yes.
on them. So you have half a team, half the number.
In fact, in the
officials.
2018, was it 2016
Yes.
Olympics where there were more officials?
Yeah, which is okay
Than
because they are
the-
What were
required.
they going to do?
No, but
No,
you know, they
some
are
of-
required.
Okay.
It's
They
a
are
requirement. When you
required,
go
yes.
there, you have to have they ask
number.
for them.
Because you have your
can't
coach,
participate.
you have-
Yes,
yes,
you have to have a coach,
team
assistant,
doctor.
team doctor.
Yes,
So
anything
these
can
are
happen. Yes,
officials.
yes.
But I wanted us. We don't have the figure. But if you can break down the money that is being sent on the district, I'll tell you it can't even sustain a primary, which is okay. You know, if you look at a bigger picture and the bigger budget that we have as a country.
But Ken, you don't pay
You
primary
first start,
learners
you start.
to participate in athletics. The time I was, but I think it could be the reason why I even fell out. They are not paid. They are the learners who are in primary and are going to participate in athletics are not given any tokens.
No,
it's only
you
food.
are given.
We were only given
Yes,
glucose.
but what participation
I have
do you need?
remembered. We were given glucose.
But Ivan,
So
that is true.
Yes,
That is
for me,
true.
I was given
So
the blue
I
card.
think this time when we're talking about that,
I was-
we should not
I was
relate it to
given.
paying someone
Ivan,
to accommodating them,
Ivan.
But
because you
you're-
would run and
you're-
have to go back
You're going to
school.
think
Ivan.
about things like this. Is what I told you.
As
It
a
goes back
child.
to facilities.
Yes.
So if you came down here in Entebbe to organize a post-primary, primary, and all that, you're going to have to pay for pitches.
Yes.
People are going to come and
But
man
government
them.
has beaches.
This is what I'm telling you. Government doesn't
it's
have.
a lot of money.
You understand?
Yes.
When I say government should start
Yes.
by putting facilities.
Because now that money
the money they are paying to hire pitches. Yes, to hire vans. These
It
are
should
facilities.
be a policy. If you have a pitch in Uganda, which is owned by Uganda,
Yes.
led by the same president, it should be to us for a single week when we're having athletics, so that we support our
Yes,
own.
but let me ask you.
Yes. We make it a
How
policy.
many pitches in Uganda do you have for athletics?
Never
that
know.
have that tough for athletics?
I think even you're going too far. Schools, first of all, do not have playgrounds. Now they go and hire. Just the whole thing is, let's think about this. whole thing
But also
about
let me
the
also mention this, because most people don't understand it across sports. Some of our sportsmen go out there and fail because of fear factors and because of facilities. I'll tell you this because I know it. I've been around. The boy gets in a stadium. He has never run in a stadium. Has lights
Which is
running
lit
at
in the
night.
night.
And he's trying to run or play table tennis or do boxing. He's
But
half
as well
thinking
enjoying
about
the lighting of the-
They are- and doing the sports. They can't. So we
They're
need.
shocked. They're shocked by
they're
the
shocked.
view.
Are you trying to tell us that the day we can have athletics
By
in
the
one
way,
Kurukuku, we are winning?
let me tell you, you know, there are some games that are very interesting. Some even people even don't watch. Now, like long jump. I'm a long jumper, by the way. It's one of those
who is
that
a long
if
jumper?
You, a long
Who is
jumper
a
is
long-
one who you lift your
yeah.
weight and jump.
What I'm trying to ask, is it you who is a long jumper?
Yes, I am. Just that now I have.
Let's wait for results
haven't,
from Commonwealth. I'm sure we
I
will.
haven't been
And
practicing, but
Olympics.
yes. But like that, what they've said, you know, sports is a very emotive subject. There is no way you're going to have Ken and Ivan, and I agree, because we have different things altogether. But
We play different
someone
sports.
failed and they said because they didn't give. But for me, I remember I won in 400 meters, one lap in primary, and I was given blue
I want to
band.
look at those you won.
Yes, I even have.
medals.
I don't have.
No,
I have
those
a
she
medal
beat.
at campus. Actually, I have a medal for campus. I think I was second or third in one lap.
don't
or
remember.
200
Oh
meters.
my God.
At least I remember. I have a medal to show, and I have certificates. I am not a joking subject.
Okay.
Yes, but thank you so much for joining us this week. Please stay tuned to your TVs, Banag. Our people are going to be running, swimming, jumping, netball. I'm telling you, if you have never known what
Netkonde.
netball is, this is the time to
The
watch.
Bombers are
Because
there.
this is the top 6 in the world. The top 6 teams in the world are going to be playing. Then the Bombers. I don't even want to mention the names, but yes, for sure, our runners. Well, we believe in
Okay.
them. We wish you the best, and yes, catch us next weekend, and we have a great one. I have a medal I'm going to wear. Sorry, you didn't win any.
Imagine if leadership and development was a uniting factor for people towards a certain achievement. When people set aside their political differences and affront a cause that will benefit everyone.
What does omuntu wa wansi see as development in Entebbe?
mbuuza meeya akyegana tawunikiraka akyegana
Who is the problem now?
ensonga eno ejja kuggwa.
That is politics. Era tetulina kyakulya n'enkya tekigenda kubaawo.
Ate ne President Museveni bannanga akyali baby.
Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. as we discuss matters in Entebbe, the first Uganda's colonial capital, and what it deserves.